You ever reach a point where a person pushes you so far that, for the first time in years, you actually feel your blood heat from the inside? That was me, 2 months after buying a quiet lakeside home, hoping for peace, and instead getting Karen. The HOA's self-appointed queen, robe-wearing tyrant, clipboard-carrying storm cloud. And the day she screamed, "It's community property," at the top of her lungs was the day I stopped letting her walk all over me. I had no idea when I bought that property that the lake behind my house wasn't just a nice view, it was a target. The previous owner warned me that the HOA had delusions of ownership. I laughed at the time. Now I know he meant her. The first couple of weeks were simple irritations. Karen would remind me of noise policies every time I mowed my lawn, at 4 p.m. She'd walk her dog right up to the edge of my yard and let it pee, smiling like she knew it bothered me. But the real war began the afternoon I came home early from work. My driveway curves beside the lake, giving me a clear view of the water. And there they were, 8 strangers, coolers, floaties, Bluetooth speakers blasting pop music across my property. Kids throwing trash near the water. A teenager climbing my dock like a jungle gym. And Karen, she stood in the middle of the chaos barking orders like a cruise director. I parked, got out, and walked toward them, already confused and irritated. Karen spotted me and waved, as if nothing was wrong. "Oh, good, you're back," she said. "We're having a small neighborhood gathering. You don't mind, right?" "Actually, I do," I said. "Why are people on my dock?" She laughed, this high-pitched nasal sound that could grind concrete. "Don't be silly. The lake is community property. Your house just happens to be next to it." I stared at her. "That's not true. I own the land and the water rights for 100 feet from shore. It's in my deed." Karen's smile dropped. "The HOA rules supersede that." "No, they don't." Karen's neck stiffened like she swallowed a brick. "We'll talk about this later," she snapped. But before she could turn back to her guests, I pulled out my phone and took pictures of the trespassing, the trash, the dock climbing. Her eyes widened. "You can't do that." I kept taking pictures. "Actually, I can." That was round 1. 2 days later, round 2 arrived like a storm, literally, Karen pounding on my door with her clipboard. "You violated HOA community spirit rules," she shrieked. "Community spirit rules," I repeated, blinking. "That's not a thing." She shoved the clipboard toward me. "You made guests uncomfortable by taking photos. You're required to make common areas accessible." "It's not a common area," I said calmly. "The lakefront behind my house is private property. Your guests trespassed. The HOA doesn't recognize that." "Well," I said, "the county does." She froze. I closed the door on her mid-sentence. I thought maybe, that would be the end of it. I was wrong. The following weekend, I woke to shouting. I stepped onto my porch to see Karen again hosting a crowd, bigger this time. Not 8 guests, more like 30. She'd even set up folding tables with snacks. People were already wading into my lake. That was it. I'd tried to be patient. I'd tried to be civil. Round 3 was revenge. I went inside, grabbed my deed packet, grabbed my phone, and walked straight down to the water. Karen was wearing a sun hat big enough to shade a tent. "You need to leave," I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "This is private property." Karen spun around and shouted, "No, it's not. It's community property." Her voice cracked through the air like a horn. People stopped. Kids froze. Even the Bluetooth speaker seemed to lower itself. I held up the official land document with the county seal. "This is my property line. The lake, this shoreline, and the dock are mine." Karen stomped toward me. "I don't care. This is an HOA event." "Then have it somewhere you actually own," I said. She lunged forward and tried to snatch the paperwork. That was a mistake. The moment her hand touched me, 2 things happened. 1. I stepped back and started recording. 2. The county sheriff, who I had texted earlier, pulled into my driveway. Karen froze, eyes wide. Officer Daniels stepped onto the grass and said, "We got your message. I see the trespassers." Karen ran toward him like a frantic pigeon. "Officer, thank goodness. This man is preventing HOA members from accessing community property." Officer Daniels raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, this isn't community property." Karen's mouth fell open. He continued, "The lake and shoreline behind this home are privately owned. HOA rules do not override property rights." Someone gasped. Several guests already began packing. But Karen wasn't done embarrassing herself. "It's for the community," she yelled. "He can't just block us from the lake." Water belongs to everyone. Not this water, Daniel said. Everyone needs to leave immediately. Karen shrieked so loud her voice broke into a coughing fit. No, you don't understand. I already invited people. They already came. I can't cancel an HOA event because of him. You can, Daniel said. And you will. Karen stormed toward me again, red-faced and trembling. You're ruining everything. You're selfish. No, I said. I just like my property respected. Guests scurried out like rats abandoning a sinking ship. Within 10 minutes, only Karen remained, huffing like a dragon guarding her last egg. This isn't over, she hissed. It actually is, I said. 2 days later, round 4 arrived, my victory lap. Karen received a certified letter from the county, a formal trespass warning. Anyone she allowed onto my property could result in her being fined. Repeated violations could result in misdemeanor charges. Another letter came from the HOA board. Turns out, they'd never approved her community lake events. She fabricated permissions. They suspended her from committee activities for 3 months. But the best part, a week later, I installed a beautiful black metal gate along the shoreline path, fully permitted. Stylish, secure, and impossible for Karen to squeeze through. The first time she saw it, her jaw dropped so far I thought it might roll down the hill into the lake. She tried yelling over the fence. Claimed it blocked the view. I didn't even respond. I simply walked down to my dock, sat in my chair, and enjoyed a quiet sunset, the first one with no trespassers, no screaming, no music, no chaos. Just peace. The lake was mine again. And every time Karen looked at it from afar, she looked like someone who lost a kingdom she never actually owned. Because some battles aren't fought with shouting or screaming. Sometimes, the perfect revenge is a locked gate, a clear property line, and the sound of silence.